Good morning, everybody. 2 minutes late. It doesn't happen that often, but it's happened this morning. Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to FPL. It's game week 12. The international break is over. There isn't another one until March. There is a little bit of a break, I think, in January, but we will have had so many game weeks at that point. We might not mind a short FA Cup weekend. And I think we're straight into a midweek game week at some point in January. Anyway, have I got the cricket on? I don't, because I don't think Sky Go will work while I'm also streaming. Sky Go is very finicky. Like, even if I open the snipping tool while I've got Sky Go on my computer, it closes the app because it thinks I'm going to take a screenshot or something. So I don't have the cricket on. I know that England were 200 ahead or something like that. Oh, it's on TNT. Yeah, but it's Sky Go that I would have to play it through still. Anyway. Let's not start off by talking about lots of... Oh, England are going to lose. Fair enough. 67 runs with 9 wickets in hand. Yeah, England are done. Okay. Yes, game week 12. I've made one transfer, which is Gabriel to Timber. I'll be honest, I already have some slight regret about it. It's a weird one because I know Timber's a really good pick, and on Wildcard a few weeks ago, I would have chosen Gabriel and Timber, so I do rate him as an option. I think he will start the majority of games. And maybe even every game, but there's still that slight worry. And also, someone else has got to score from set pieces now. That could be Saliba. And Saliba's 0.2 million less. So there was a little bit of regret, but I still like Timber as a pick. The Timber not pictured in training is no worry, by the way. Yeah, I mean, Rice wasn't pictured in training, I think, before game week 11 or whatever. And he was fine. They got another training session today. So yeah, I've made that move. I've got one free transfer left. I'm very tempted to do Semenyo to Cunha or to do Paquetá to Minte. Paquetá to Minte feels bad because I missed the Minte price rise last night. But either way, Timber is more likely to score from a corner than Saliba. Really? Is he? How tall is the guy? Not that height is the only thing that matters, of course, because there's plenty of players in the past that haven't been super tall that have been good headerers of the ball, but anyway, yeah, we'll see. I'm very tempted to do Semenyo to Cunha, but it's just going to feel so bad if Semenyo. It's one of those moves that I'm going to do it, and then as soon as the deadline hits, I'm going to feel sick about it because if Semenyo starts, it's such a good fixture. It's such a good fixture. Have you made your Van Dijk transfer? I've had Van Dijk for ages. I've had Van Dijk since game week 4. Jack, thank you very much. 2 free transfers, 4.1 million in the bank. Team, okay, well, let me get... sometimes it's better to see the question first. Would you do Gabriel and Estev? Oh, Gabriel to Estev, Semenyo to Salah. So who have you got? You've got Saka in place already. He's pretty good on Haaland. Okay. Or Gabriel to Van Dijk and Saka to Salah, or just Gabriel to Van Dijk and Roll. I'd probably just do Gabriel to Van Dijk and Roll. I don't hate getting Salah, especially if you can do it for free. It's a huge differential. But honestly, Saka's pretty good. And I much prefer getting a good defender rather than a Stev. Would be my main thoughts. But I would say that, right? Because it's closer to my team. If you want to take the Salah punt, I really don't hate it. Obviously, it's Salah, right? FPL Road 20 months. Captaincy dilemma, Saka versus Haaland. I'm going to go Saka, I think. I'm pretty much... So... I think sometimes on the deadline, the Semenyo Cunha thing is going to go down to the wire because I'm really not sure about it. And I got a slight regret about the Timber move, but I actually feel quite locked in on Saka, to be honest. I think sometimes when I sit down to do a deadline stream, it really tells me kind of how I feel about a move. And I don't see any dilemma about moving the armband by the deadline. I see lots of dilemma about my transfer. And I think I will make that second transfer, although it's not guaranteed, I guess. Because I do have Dewsbury Hall on the bench. It's not a great fixture, but he's always there. He's always reliable for at least one game week every 7. So I'm going to go Saka. Could Spurs line up with a back 5 and make it really difficult for Arsenal? Of course, but Newcastle are not pushovers, in my opinion. Yeah, in Burma, I wouldn't go in Burma. I think you just go for a penalty taker, right? For me to captain in Burma ahead of Saka and Haaland, they would have to have terrible fixtures, I think. In Burma is obviously good, and he'll probably do well, but that's my thoughts on it. 7 months, Gurabai. What to do, Gabriel to Van Dijk or Saliba? I probably prefer Van Dijk in isolation, or Reinders to Cunha or someone for 8 million. I've only got one free transfer. I would probably just deal with Gabriel. Argue why 0.5 more for Lacroix versus Richards is worth it. It's probably not. I don't really want to make that argument, to be honest. Lacroix's probably got more goal threat. That's about it. I think the numbers do show Lacroix slightly better for defensive contributions over a long period of time than Richards, but Richards is pretty good for them as well, and he's cheaper. So, yeah, I mean, I got Lacroix back on Wildcard 4 when I thought he was going to be an absolute DEFCON monster versus the rest of the defense. It just hasn't been the case. But I think you've always got there's always a difference between when you're buying a player or selling one. There's not really been any need for me to sell Lacroix. That's why I've still got him. But if I was buying again, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to have him over Richards. Although, I do know there's some Richards owners out there that are slightly worried about a benching in game week 14 maybe against Burnley. Like midweek fixture, if they're going to rotate, that's the kind of week to do it. But honestly, Glasner just very, very, very rarely rotate. So, that's my arguments. They're not very good. If you want to go Richards, just do it. Have 4 free transfers doing Semenyo and Jai to Dango Cunha. Dango Utara is not a bad punt. If Brentford ever go back to playing a front 2, like in a back 3, then Utara will miss out, but I don't see them doing that anytime soon. He obviously does go to African Cup of Nations as well, so just bear that in mind. Is Gabriel a priority sell, or can I just sell João Pedro for Welbeck? I mean, you can if you can just bench Gabriel, but João Pedro is going to play and it's Burnley, so you should probably sell Gabriel first. Do you think Saliba or Timber is the better? Well, I've gone for Timber, so I guess that tells you. Timber's more attacking, but Saliba could be the set-piece target and get more defcons with Gabriel. Yeah, agreed. Those things could happen. He's also cheaper as well, and that 0.2 million might be handy at some point. I've gone for Timber because he just seems a bit more exciting, but honestly, I would not be surprised if Saliba ends up being the better pick. There's every chance. Last time Gabriel was out last season, I had Saliba, 2 goals. Could happen again. A Chilias member for 26 months. Achilles. Apologies straight away. Have a nice weekend, everyone. You too. You think Reece James is starting? Yes, probably. Would you play Rodon instead to be sure? No. Any update on Semenyo? No. Only what we got yesterday, I'm afraid. 2 free transfers, 1.5 in the bank. I've got Gakpo, Semenyo, Voltemada. I want in Burma and get rid of Voltemada. What should I do? I have Saka. I mean, you should sell Voltemada and sell one of Gakpo or Semenyo, I guess. I mean, you probably got to sell Semenyo before no, do you, though? I mean, Voltemada to someone cheap and Gakpo up to Mbermo. Right? Oh, hang on. You don't have to sell Voltemada. You just keep him. I would do Gakpo or Semenyo to Mbermo and roll, personally. If you want to get rid of Voltemada, buy Thiago probably and save some money. Or go to Mateta if you don't own him. Would you let Semenyo being out put you off a bench boost? Probably. Benches Dubravka, Thiago, Mukiele, Rodon. The thing is, that's not your bench, really, is it? Because if you think that Semenyo is a genuine risk, you're playing Thiago over him. So, I mean, if Semenyo is out, obviously I wouldn't bench boost. But he's only a doubt. I think I'd probably wait, but I get the appeals just to use it now. Kaiser WV, 26 months. Thanks for the content. Thank you for watching. Start 1 between Senesi and Richards. Senesi, I think. And bench 1 between Semenyo, Sarr, Szoboszlai and Thiago. Probably Semenyo. Right? The rest of them should start. I mean, Szoboszlai might be right back, which would suck, but play 2 of Richards, Senesi or Voltemada. Voltemada and Senesi. It's weird, by the way, because I think I would play Senesi ahead of Richard. This maybe goes back to that argument about Lacroix worth the money. I would probably play Senesi over Richards. I don't think I would have too much deliberation on that. But I'll tell you now, if I do Paquetá to Minte and I've got to bench one of my defenders, I'm not sure I would bench Lacroix ahead of Senesi. So that does tell me in the back of my mind, I do think Lacroix for goal threat and stuff is a bit better. Yeah, I looked at the clean sheet odds that Rob posted this morning. I think Palace have got higher clean sheet odds than both Fulham and Bournemouth. And Fulham and Bournemouth are basically identical. Honestly, this is like the most illogical reason to make a transfer ever. But look, we're all human, right? I kind of want to do Semenyo to Cunha so I don't have to decide which defender to bench. Because if I bring Minte in to cover Semenyo, I'm not going to bench him. I'm going to want to play him because he's an attacker. I don't really want to make the decision on which defender to bench, which is stupid. You seem to talk a lot about Mbermo and Cunha. What about Sarr? Yes, Sarr's good. I think Sarr's good for 3 weeks, and then I'm not so bothered about him. Cunha could be a really good long-term pick, but he could also be bad. And Mbermo's just great. I think with Man United, it's the home fixtures that they've got coming up. Like Everton and West Ham in 12 and 14, and then Wolves away in 15. Do Semenyo to Cunha, just done it myself. Yeah, but I mean, it's absolutely horrible if Semenyo plays. Like, let's... Yeah, if Semenyo plays, like West Ham at home is so good, and Kluivert's out. So someone's got to take penalties. It could be Evan Nielsen, because Semenyo missed, but it might just still be Semenyo. I'm honestly, I'm going to find the next few weeks quite hard in FPL because we've got to use transfers. I think I'm quite good at being patient. And any other week, like if there's no free hit to use in the first half of the season, and if there's no 5 free transfers coming up, there is no way I even contemplate selling Semenyo. I just keep him, and if he does miss out completely, which by the way is not even a guarantee, if he doesn't start, he could get benched. I keep him because it's West Ham, and I just have Dewsbury Hall coming off the bench, and I roll my second transfer. There's no way I use that transfer under normal circumstances. So I'm out of my comfort zone a little bit. I like just being patient with moves, and I can't do that right now. I mean, I can roll that transfer, free hit 13, then have 2 in game week 14. But I know in game week 14 the moves are going to be the same as they are right now. There's not really much else interesting to do. So I don't know. Will you start Guiu if we learn he starts before the deadline? I mean, if we find out Guiu starts, I guess that gives me more reason to just roll and put Guiu first bench. But I don't think I'd start him. Would I? No, I'm not sure I would start him because an early sub is almost inevitable. He's not better than any of my other attackers apart from Semenyo if he doesn't start. And all my defenders are good. Most giddy I've seen you at 9 a.m. It's because I know I'm probably going to sell Semenyo or sell Paquetá, and I'm scared about doing it. It's nervous. It's nervous giddiness, you know? Okay, where do I get up to? Cantor Kid, 11 months. 1 free transfer, Gabriel to Richards De Ligt, but I really want to get Thiago for Krupi Jr. for a hit. I mean, if you have to play Krupi Jr., then maybe you take the hit, but presumably you can just play someone else, so I probably wouldn't do it. I think I would go Richards over De Ligt. Like, it really depends. If that 0.5 million is not going to matter to any future moves, I would be tempted to take a punt on De Ligt, because the home fixtures are pretty good. Wolves away is not bad either. But 0.5 million is not nothing, right? It could be very useful later on. I guess my hesitation is I'm not sure if De Ligt is worth 0.5 million more. But if that money doesn't do anything for you soon, I don't hate that punt. Need your help. Who to captain, Bruno or Mbermo? I'm going to put Bruno ahead of Mbermo, but I've done that for many weeks now and it's hurt. Could we see a penalty DEFCON masterclass from Bruno? I'm going to stick to Bruno, but honestly, I've done that for weeks and Mbermo keeps outscoring him. Gay or, apart from that week he didn't, Gay or Rodon? I'd play Gay. Welbeck is a differential captain over Haaland. No. I mean, if you really want a punt for the hell of it, then sure, captain Welbeck. But over Haaland, not for me. And if you're top of your mini league, maybe just stay there by captaining Haaland. I enjoy the content, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I enjoy that you watch it. Bench 1 of Munoz, Van Dijk, Calafiori, Njai, Semenyo or Thiago. Oh my God. Njai, maybe? I think all those defenders start. I mean, the only one that's in doubt is Calafiori, but I think he will start. Would I really play Calafiori over Njai, though? Penalty taker. I think I would bench Calafiori, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it. The thing is, Calafiori and Semenyo are both flagged. In a weird way, I think Semenyo is more likely to cameo than... I just think Calafiori starts, honestly. I think it's going to be Calafiori and Capier, Saliba and Timber. I just think that's what it'll be. I don't know. Flip a coin. I got no idea. I guess I would probably bench Calafiori, I think. But then if that was Timber, I wouldn't. So Calafiori is not much worse. Oh, God, I don't know. I'm going to say Calafiori, but honestly, I could... Calafiori or Semenyo or Njai. I would definitely play Thiago, Van Dijk, Munoz, I guess. Calafiori, but I don't know why, to be honest. Do I roll or move Gabriel to Van Dijk or Semenyo to Mbermo? Pope, Timber, Munoz, Senesi, Semenyo, Enzo, Njai, Sarr, Rice, Haaland, Mateta. I mean, if you do Gabriel to Van Dijk, who do you bench? Like, you got a massive benching headache if you do that, right? Timber's good, Munoz is good, Senesi's good. I mean, Semenyo to Mbeumo might actually be better for your team, weirdly. But not if Semenyo plays. I think you could roll, honestly. Although you basically haven't got a bench. You've missed the price rise now for Van Dijk and the drop for Gabriel. If you're going to do I'd be tempted by Semenyo to Mbeumo more and then do the Gabriel move next week or something. You could roll, you've just got no bench. And obviously Semenyo is a bit of a doubt, but that's the only doubt you've got. Thinking of doing Gabriel to Munoz or Van Dijk, but would have to bench either Semenyo, Minte, or Thiago to get them in the team. Yeah, in that case, you could just roll, especially if you do have someone good on the bench. Would you do Semenyo to Mbeumo, Bruno for a -4 when I already have Anderson first sub? No, don't think so. You're basically, like, let's say Semenyo is out, you're taking a -4 to not play Anderson. I don't like that. Already have Timber. AI transfer suggests Gabriel to Senesi and Reinders to Szoboszlai. Yeah, I don't hate it. Szoboszlai is on 4 yellow cards, and there is a chance he plays right back. It could be, like, basically, Slot said that he kind of said that 1 or 2 players might have to play out of position, and he said that Szoboszlai's played well at right back. He said Curtis Jones played there, I think, last season, and he also mentioned Joe Gomez, but he said that Gomez basically doesn't play 90 minutes anymore, or at least he hasn't done for a while. So it's probably going to be Szoboszlai or Jones right back. I mean, Szoboszlai's played so well in midfield, maybe he'll just stay there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I would buy Szoboszlai. 4 yellow cards, possible right back. His what's the word? His appeal has kind of died down a little bit for me, but I don't hate him as a pick. I think if you haven't got Sarr, I'd probably rather go there. But Gabriel to Senesi is a nice move, especially if you've already got Van Dijk or Timber. I need to start one out of Gabriel. Well, Gabriel's out, so I need to start one out of Gabriel, Semenyo, Isidore, 1 free transfer. Should I do one out of Gabriel to Van Dijk, Semenyo to Mbeumo, Isidore to Thiago, or roll and start Semenyo? I mean, you could roll, start Semenyo, and have Isidore first bench. But again, Gabriel's probably going to have to be sold at some point. Mbeumo's a good pick, and Thiago's a massive upgrade on Isidore. So, I mean, any of those moves you make are good for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So I would be tempted to do it. Unless you're going to roll and have something much more interesting to do next week. But Thiago's great next week, and Mbeumo's okay next week, and Van Dijk's pretty good next week. So they're all good moves for this week. They're all good for next week, and they're all pretty good. I mean, they're really good for game week 14 onwards as well. So I'd probably make a transfer. Which one would I do? Probably not the Semenyo one, I guess. I think Isidore and Gabriel are probably bigger problems. So Gabriel to Van Dijk, I guess. Should I play Krupi over Van der Ven and hope he scores off the bench? Probably not. Although I get it, it's Arsenal, but probably not. Starting Jai, Reece James, or Bowen. Oh, God. I want to say Reece James, but I think if I actually had that decision, I would probably play in Jai. Jared, 9 months, thank you. How are you? I'm doing good. Hope you are too. 2 free transfers. Can do Gabriel Stack to Van Dijk Minte or Gabriel Semenyo to Van Dijk Cunha. Keeping stat means 4-4-2 most weeks. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and Tarkowski playing most weeks. I think I prefer the Van Dijk Minte move, to be honest. I mean, they're both okay, and 4-4-2. There's nothing. I'm literally playing 5-3-2, so 4-4-2 is fine. Yeah, I think the Van Dijk Minte move is probably better. You get to keep Semenyo as well. Like, so, by the way, I might sell Semenyo, but he's not a terrible hold. It's Sunderland away next week, then it's Everton at home in 14. Gabriel to Timber, Donnarumma to Petrovic, Van der Ven to Van Dijk for a -4. I probably wouldn't do the -4. Realise can get in Mbeumo instead of Cunha. I mean, yeah, that does change things a little bit. Oh, I don't know. So basically, it's basically Minte and Semenyo versus Stack and Mbeumo. But you don't have to play Stat most weeks, but you will have to play Tarkowski. The thing is, Tarkowski's good in 15. He's not bad from 18 onwards. But outside of that, he's not amazing now. I still think I would do the Minte move, I think. But I don't know. I think if it came down to it, I probably would just want Mbeumo. Canate Mbeumo for Gabriel and Semenyo. It's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of the Canate pick, but it's not awful. Would you do Semenyo to Mbeumo -4? I don't think so, no. Would you do Gabriel to Van Dijk over Saliba Timber if it means no Arsenal defender goalkeeper? Yeah, probably. Start 2, Enzo, Thiago, Semenyo. Again, like, I guess you've got to start the two that aren't doubts. That's Thiago and Enzo. Starting Jai or Anderson. Again, my gut feeling is that Anderson's actually better, but I suspect that I would start in Jai. Chat's 37 months. Do I get Saka in for a hit? I've got Minte, Enzo, and Bruno in midfield. Would be Semenyo out and Voltemada out? Probably not, no, unless you're absolutely desperate to captain him. But if you want to go against Haaland captain, you could just go for Bruno. It's an option, right? I don't think you need to take a hit to get Saka. Would you use free hit? Got Gabriel and Paquetá out with a poor bench. Well, so this is the problem, right? If you use free hit, you've still got Gabriel next week who will be injured, and you've still got Paquetá who, yes, won't be suspended, but is still not very good. So you should probably just not free hit. Having stack stinks. Yeah, I agree. I think as long as if Semenyo plays this week, the Minte move is much better for you. Like, much better, I would say. Why is no one talking about Van Heck? I have looked at him because he's only 4.4 million. The Brighton fixtures are really good. He's just no real chance of DEFCONs at all. He has scored already this season, I believe, against Wolves. But no, DEFCONs are just not great with him. Which is like, look, clean sheets are still important, and Brighton do have good fixtures. But it's just that season where if a defender doesn't have attacking returns or attacking potential, like good attacking potential or DEFCONs, they just feel a bit rubbish, and that's kind of where Van Heck is, I think. Gabriel to Van Dijk / Munoz -4 to start over Anderson. No, don't think so. No, I don't think so. Haaland can hit his Centurion today against Newcastle. Still don't want to captain him. I mean, stuff like that just doesn't matter, does it? Like, yeah. If he doesn't hit it this way, like, that's exactly the same. Honestly, it's so funny. That's exactly the same as the Game Week 11 deadline stream. Saka hasn't got more than 9 points since last November. So should I not captain Saka because he's only got one double-digit haul since last November, you know? I mean, Haaland will probably score. I mean, I don't really have too many doubts about that. I just have to hope he doesn't score twice. By the way, I'm not captaining Saka because I think Haaland won't score. I just hope that Saka will score more points. Which is a slight difference. No one who's going against Haaland captain thinks there's zero chance he scores. He probably does score, and he'll probably do it early, and it'll probably be an absolute horrible watch. 17k overall rank, 2 free transfers. Did Gabriel to Van Dijk and Njai to Sarr with Semenyo bench after the slight doubt on his minutes. Worried about no Man United though on free hit 13. Sounds good. I mean, like, Man United are good now, but there's really no harm just jumping on them from game week 14. Especially if you're free hit 13. You're missing Everton at home. So, who cares? Like, it's a weird situation where I might end up with 2 Man United attackers by the end of this stream, but having 0 is also absolutely fine. And in a lot of people's eyes, I will have 2 Man United midfielders, and I still won't have the best one. Because everyone likes Mbeumo, obviously. And Mbeumo is a really good pick. He's 8.6 million now, by the way. I would definitely pick Fernandes for 0.3 million more. Is Mbeumo the best Semenyo replacement, if not who? I mean, the best replacement is probably Salah, then Saka, then maybe Mbeumo. Wildcard active. Thoughts on Chalobah to Senesi? I wouldn't have Chalobah, yeah. Keep Njai or sell to Minte Sarr. I would get rid of Njai. My other midfielder attackers, Semenyo, Mbeumo, Gakpo, Oh, God. Okay. Doku, he's been, like, I know there's lots of hype. He played really well against Liverpool. He's been benched in 2 of the last 5 games and hasn't made it past the 75th minute. I think, I'm telling you now, how many people have brought Doku in this week? So let me have a look right now. Oh, jeez, I can't see the page. Transfers in for midfielders. He's the second most bought midfielder. How many points did he get against Liverpool? 11, okay. People not looking at the 2-1-1-1-1 before that, no? 330,000 transfers in. This is mental, right? Caicedo's got 200,000 transfers in again. Oh my God. You can tell there's a lot of active people still. This is mad. Honest. Look, I get it. They've scored lots of points. Gravenberch has had over 100,000 transfers in. I'm just looking now. Cunha's had 50,000. This makes me want to go for him. He's such a differential. Like 50,000 people have bought in Cunha, and then 500,000 people have bought in Doku and Caicedo. Honestly. And maybe they'll both smash Cunha. They probably will. Anyway, I don't like Doku at all. I think that's a massive overreaction to the Liverpool game. He's not nailed. He gets early subbed a lot. I just don't like him. He's more likely to assist. He's played one 90-minute game all season. I think he's a bad pick. I know the fixtures are good coming up, but he's gonna get benched at some point. He just will. So I don't like Doku on wildcard, but there's lots of transfers coming up. If you want to take short-term punts, absolutely go for it. It's your team. Gakpo, oh my God. I say oh my God because I'm not sure what to think of him. Wirtz is out, so therefore Gakpo will start. What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't start? What if it's Ekitike, Isak, and Salah? Like, that's the problem for me. That's how I know I shouldn't buy a player, because as soon as I saw the Wirtz news, my thought wasn't Gakpo's nailed. My thought was, what if he still doesn't start? So, and then you've got Semenyo who's flagged, who may not start this week. So, yeah, as you can tell, I don't particularly like that midfield. But it's your team. It's your team. I would go for someone cheaper than Gakpo. I would swap Doku to someone at a similar price, and I would try and get Fernandes in, honestly, alongside Mbeumo. Njai or Enzo to Bruno? Probably Njai, but Enzo's probably going to have to be like, if you're not free hit 13, I'd be pretty tempted to sell Enzo, actually, just because of the Arsenal game. I can't believe how many people are buying Doku. And I know that's going to bite me. I know he's going to score a goal. Doku will probably assist Caicedo somehow. Doku will get an assist for a Caicedo banger from about 50 yards. The transfers in for midfielders are crazy, I think. It makes me hopeful. Esteval, the same amount of transfers in. Esteval has not started since game week 6. And he's got the same amount of transfers in as Cunha. And Cunha's been rubbish, by the way. Cunha's only got 1 goal all season, 0 assists. He's been terrible. So he might even be a rubbish pick as well. Wow, the transfers in for midfielders are... I mean, Mbeumo's got loads. That's fair. I get that. Although, hang on. I'm going off on a tangent here now. What ownership is Mbeumo at now? 36%. I reckon that's like much closer to like 60 or 70 with engaged managers. It's almost at the point now where I kind of want to take Mbeumo on. The problem with taking him on is he's really, really good. Might have been a joke, but Doku would do well to assist Caicedo. I think it will happen. But for the amount I've just talked about Doku and Caicedo, I wouldn't put it past it happening. Krupi Jr. is the one to... I've not looked at the transfers in this week. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Krupi Jr. is the 7th most transferred in. I guess he will get some minutes, so I kind of get that. Surely defenders is a bit more... Yeah, Van Dijk, Timber, Munoz. Yeah, it makes more sense. Okay. No, I don't want to kill your wildcard dream. Don't be boring, right? Don't go over... I'm an idiot. I'm not going to win FPL this year. Don't listen to me. Go and switch off and watch someone else's stream. Who's more likely to win FPL, because it ain't going to be me. If you want to go for those players on wildcard, you absolutely should. Who would I go for instead? Well, I'd probably try and get Fernandes in somehow, because I'm an idiot. And then someone like Sarr, maybe. I mean, Sarr is a bit short term. I will give you that. If you want to take a punt on Doku, then fair enough. But I don't know. Again, Gakpo will probably start this week. But how many weeks does he start after that? Yes, thank you for telling me that Doku and Caicedo play for different teams. Thank you. That's the joke. Okay, 2 free transfers. Semenyo to Mbeumo and Gordon to Minte. Or Semenyo to Bruno and Gordon to Minte. Or just do Gordon to Cunha and roll. I mean, I quite like Semenyo to Bruno and Gordon to Minte, honestly. Especially, like, yeah, I kind of like it. I think Bruno... I mean, there's an argument to be made that Bruno and Mbeumo are better than Semenyo, even if he plays, right? They're certainly not worse over the next 4 or 5. So I don't hate it. What about Nkapie? Still have free hit and wild card. He will probably start, but obviously there's no guarantee, and that's the worry. And also he's 5.4, so it's not like he's... I don't know. Is it cheap enough to just not buy Saliba? If you're really stuck for cash and you really want an Arsenal defender, then yes, I guess you go Nkapie. But we don't know how good his goal threat will be. We don't know how good he'll be for DEFCONs. We don't know if he's absolutely nailed. Like, you can go and buy some very good defenders for 5 million or less from other teams. Like, if you've still got free hit and wildcard, then you can take a punt. But as you can tell, I'm not the biggest fan of that move. On bench boost, I know. I mean, bench boost is fine. Only worry is Semenyo. Have enough to go for Cunha for a hit. Probably wouldn't take a hit. I would probably hope for the best, I think. I mean, sure, if you want to, go for it, of course. But, yeah, I don't know about taking a hit for Semenyo. It feels bad because I think the prediction has to be that he probably starts, even if there is some doubt there. Torn on wildcard. Mbeumo, Cunha, and a dead spot. Esteve already have Guy or Bruno, Njai, and Van der Ven. Oh, no way would I go Njai and Van der Ven. Like, Van der Ven, like, he scored 1 million goals this season, and he'll probably score 1 million more. But the fixtures are not very good overall. Like, they've got Arsenal away, Newcastle away. I mean, Forest away is probably not so bad. And Liverpool at home. And Palace away from now until 18. And Njai's like... And then this is where, like, I'm a bit torn between how aggressive to be. But Njai is a definite transfer out for AFCON. So Mbeumo, Cunha in a dead spot has got to be... Oh, but you got Bruno. I didn't... Yeah. No, I think Mbeumo, Cunha in a dead spot's got to be better. I mean, Mbeumo's also a guaranteed transfer out, I guess. But he's better in the short term. My team is like yours, but with Mbeumo instead of Bruno and three of defenders. Should I use free hit for Salah and Liverpool defenders? Probably not. Like, if your team looks good this week, there's definitely better weeks to use your free hit. Because your team will also probably look quite good in 14 if it's good this week. I have Szoboszlai and Semenyo, who to start. Probably the guy that's not yellow. Oh, would I really start Szoboszlai? I'd probably start Semenyo. Honestly. And just hope that he overstarts or misses out completely. Start one, Njai, Semenyo, Thiago. What is the Semenyo cameo chance? I guess Thiago. Njai to Szoboszlai. Will Gakpo start given the injuries? I mean, I've just had a long talk about Gakpo. I don't... Probably starts. Njai to Szoboszlai. I don't think I would do that, honestly. Semenyo is fit and starting, trained yesterday. But what is your source, Sniper Linz? Which would you bench, Minte or Njai? Njai, I think. Free hitting, Mr. Steeler, thank you. Free hitting this week, Enzo, Welbeck, Mbeumo. Enzo, Welbeck, or João Pedro, Minte, Fernandes. Oh, that's so close. Can you not go Welbeck, Minte, Fernandes? No, that feels bad. Probably Enzo, Welbeck, and Mbeumo, I think. I'm not really sure why. I'm trying to add up the penalty takers. You got 1 in the right, 2 in the left. Not that that's the only thing that matters. I think Enzo, Welbeck, and Mbeumo. That's my gut feeling. But it's super close. Have 2 free transfers. Yorkeresh to Thiago, Semenyo to Saka, and Gabriel bench with Anderson playing, or to sell Gabriel for -4. Just play Anderson. Upgrade Tarkowski or Goodmanson for a -4 on bench boost. Nope. Start Petrovic or Henderson. I mean, I think Panis clean sheet odds are higher, but I think I would have to start the guy at home in that situation. So Petrovic, Njai or Semenyo. Semenyo and hope that there's no cameo. Free hit after Gabriel and Burn out, and Semenyo risk. As long as you really want Semenyo and Burn long term, and obviously you're happy to deal with Gabriel next week, because Gabriel's still going to be out next week, and the week after, and probably the week after that. So if anything, it depends how many transfers you got. If you've got a couple of transfers, you could just use them and deal with it now. Order my bench: Tarkowski, Goodmanson, Krupi. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, probably Tarkowski, then Goodmanson, then Krupi. I think in that order. Please sort my bench. Ciao, Alderete, Krupi. I mean, Krupi's always going to be last for me because I don't think he starts. So Newcastle away to City, no, home to City, I'd probably go Alderete, Chow, Krupi. Can you quickly outline your free hit 13 team? Triple Brentford, triple Man City, triple Brentford, triple Man's probably triple Brentford, triple City for sure. Okay, Haaland, Foden, Nico O'Reilly, Salah. Probably, I don't know, either 2 Villa defenders or 2 Brentford ones. Because I like doubling up on free hit. Sharda if he's not suspended. Maybe Szoboszlai if he's not suspended. Maybe Van Dijk. Yeah. Villa, Brentford, City, and Liverpool would probably be the 4 teams I'm mostly looking at. Bench 1, Grealish, Senesi, Semenyo. Grealish, I think. Have 2 free transfers. Gyökeres to Thiago, Semenyo to Saka. Oh, I did that one already. Captain Mateta, good luck. Worth taking a hit on Gabriel. Have Rodon starting with a Steven King on the bench and a flag Semenyo starting for me. Also, Krupi starting. I'd probably take a hit there, yeah. Adam W1 says I missed a super chat. Did I, though? Did I definitely? If I did, I apologise. Semenyo. Oh, I did. Sorry. Semenyo and Cash flagged. Trippier. I think Cash will be fine, by the way. Semenyo is probably fine as well. Trippier, King, Rodon on the bench. Take a -4 to cover or roll. I'd probably roll. Like, Rodon's not a terrible player on the bench to come on. I don't think both of those flag players will miss out. Okay. Where? Oh, God, I've got up. Where have I got up to? It's very busy today. I don't know. 3 free transfers. Gabriel to 4 million. Rice to Saka. Why are we doing Rice to Saka all of a sudden? I thought Rice was the most attacking Arsenal attacker. Semenyo to Mberma. I probably... It's fine. Yeah, it's fine if you want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I prefer Saka and Mberma over Mberma and Rice for sure. Nick, thank you. Stephen, 91 months. Madness. I'm on wildcard. Do you think it's possible to go without an Arsenal defender for the next 3? Yes. Yes. I don't hate that. Especially if you're not free hitting next week. Also, would you go Welbeck over Minte? That depends on the combination, right? So, like, if it's Minte and Guiu, long term, I think I prefer that over Welbeck and like a cheap fodder in midfield. I just think there's more midfielders to choose from. But for the short term, let's say the next 4, probably Welbeck, yeah? Yeah, probably Welbeck. Is it safe to start Reece James? It should be, yeah. In your team, would you do -4 Semenyo to Minte? No, I'm not even sure. Well, I'm hesitating over doing it for free. So probably not for -4. Gabriel Semenyo to Richards and Saka -4. I mean, probably not, but if you really want to captain Saka, I don't hate it. Zach Dwyer, 3 months. I've got 4.7 million, 2 free transfers in a midfield of Sarr, Enzo, Paquetá, Semenyo and King. Stuck between doing Paquetá to Saka or Paquetá and Enzo to 2.8 million midfielders. Yeah, if you could afford like Mbermo and Cunha, that would be quite nice. Honestly, I mean, Sarr and Enzo and Semenyo, I mean, if you've got to play King, that's not great if I'm honest. But if King's on your bench, Paquetá to Saka and roll seems quite nice to me, unless I'm missing something. Thoughts on captaining Neto? I mean, no. I think I'd have zero interest in that, really. No penalties. Minutes are not complete. I mean, he probably will start, and minutes will probably be quite good, but they also might not be great. He could get subbed early. Remember with Chelsea, I mean, a lot of it will depend on game state, but the sooner Maresca can make changes, as soon as he can make changes, I think he will do it. So if the game's won and he can get Neto off around 60-odd minutes, he's off, right? Got a huge game against Barcelona midweek. On wildcard, Gay, Shaw, Szoboszlai, and Strand Larsen. Okay, I've not read the second part of this question, but I'm almost guaranteeing I will prefer the second set of players. So Gay, Shaw, Szoboszlai, and Strand Larsen, or Mbermo, Saliba, Esteve, and Guiu. It's got to be the latter, right? I know the squad depth is better in the first one, but Strand Larsen, you can't go Strand Larsen, I don't think. Szoboszlai's fine. Shaw's okay. Like, Shaw has started every game. There's not real defcons there. Gay's fine, but I would go Lacroix over Gay and save the money. I think I prefer the second, but it's obviously difficult to fully know without seeing the rest of the squad, but it's probably the second lot. Thoughts on Mateta captaincy? I mean, it's fine, yeah. Wolves away. really good fixture. He's on penalties. I don't know. It's weird with Mateta because he's getting a lot of chances, but there's still... It's almost like you always need to see more from a player like Mateta, whether that's because of price bias, I don't know. Obviously, Saka's a midfielder, so that counts for a lot. There's a potential for a clean sheet, extra point for a goal. Haaland's just Haaland. I don't know. For me to captain, like Mateta's obviously been great this season, and he's on penalties. He's nailed. The fixture's great. But for me to captain someone like Mateta, I would need him to have like Wolves at home, and then Saka and Haaland to be playing against each other almost. It's harsh, right? Because Mateta's numbers are good. I don't know. I just feel like I would probably captain Saka, Salah, Haaland, Fernandes. Maybe not in Burmo just because of penalties, but even maybe in Burmo before I thought about it. So I'm not even sure Mateta makes my top 5, to be honest. Nketiah's back fit could take some minutes off Mateta. Yeah, true. That is true. Although probably not a huge amount, and he is only just back from injury. Wasn't like a long-term one, but still. Eze to Minte. If I had Eze, I think I'd keep him because he'll start. Longer term, Minte is better because Eze's minutes will drop eventually. But I think he probably should start this week. All I wanted was a relaxing morning with the wife and son preoccupied, but no, drafted into Saturday scaffolding. Oh, damn, you're always out scaffolding on a Saturday as well. Although not right now, presumably. Presumably you're not putting scaffolding up where you're worrying about doing Gabriel to Virgil van Dijk or Timber. Anyway, that sucks. Hopefully you get a relaxing Sunday instead. Gabriel to Van Dijk or Timber. I think I prefer Van Dijk in isolation. I obviously went Timber because I already had Van Dijk. Had 2 free transfers. Did Gabriel to Timber. I've just realised I've got an hour and I've got to start making some decisions for my own team. It's quite nice doing a deadline stream because, I mean, it's just nice doing it anyway as a job. But it takes me off my transfers because if I wasn't doing a deadline stream right now, I would have spent the last 45 minutes and the next hour and 14 minutes deliberating over my moves. It kind of takes my mind off it. It does mean I give myself about 10 minutes at the end of a stream to think about it, but yeah, you know, at least that pushes you into a decision. Had 2 free transfers. Did Gabriel to Timber. Use the second free transfer to do Caicedo. You can't sell Caicedo. You can't sell goal-scoring Caicedo to Enzo, Neto, Rice, or Minte. Nah, Caicedo's too good. He's going to score a hat-trick. I'm sure of it. I would get Minte. I think Minte's Rice is pretty good as well. I wouldn't go to another Chelsea player. I don't think they're great long-term. I would go Minte, but Rice is also pretty good. But can you really sell Caicedo? Guy's got like 3 goals this season. I'm taking out my bias towards Caicedo on you, by the way. Nothing personal. Gabriel Semenyo, Reinders, Bowen. Oh, this already sounds great. Gabriel Semenyo, Reinders, Bowen out to Van Dijk, Mbeumo, Cunha, Minte. Well, I mean that sounds great. Yeah, sure. I mean selling Semenyo is not great, but if it funds all the other moves, that's a pretty. If that's for free. That's pretty nice. I mean, Thiago, arguably the better long-term pick than Welbeck. For next 4, though, I quite like Welbeck. I would love some slippers merch. You'd have to watch a stream that does slippers, I guess. Have to play and bench one of Rodon or Van der Ven. Which? Van der Ven. I'm on free hit this week. Should I go Mateta or João Pedro? I'd go Mateta. Bench for Canate. I mean, his minutes are probably going to be better. He's on penalties as well. The fixture's pretty much just as good. Bench for Canate. Timber, Senesi, Semenyo, Thiago, Minte. None of them. I'd probably bench Canate out of those. If you really want to play Canate, no, I hate it. I would just bench Canate out of those. I'm more worried about my FPL team sat on a house ridge 50 foot in the air. I couldn't do. I wouldn't say I'm not like super bad with heights, but I couldn't do something like I just. Like ladders, I think I'm not terrible with heights. Like if there's like a lift up, but I don't know about ladders and stuff. Don't know if I could do that. Bench Semenyo or James? Probably James. On wildcard this week and landed on a 4-4-3. Well, that's cheating. 10 solid picks, 2 punts in gap pie, another being my flimsy bench of Potts, Tuanzebe, King. Just hope Potts gets fit and becomes a perfect 4-point floor first bench. 4th, yeah. I mean, good luck. I would probably want a slightly more solid bench than that, but we're going to get a lot of transfers soon, so you can always fix it later on if it needs fixing. I wonder why no content creators discussing free hit this week. I mean, I did do a free hit video. In terms of why am I not thinking about free hitting for my team, I mean, look at my team, I guess. Tried to be sensible and didn't do Mbermo and Thiago for João Pedro and Enzo. Now terrified for the game week. Would you still make that move next game week with AFCON coming? I mean, I would much rather have Mbermo and Thiago next week, yes. Because Enzo and Pedro have got Arsenal. And Thiago and Mbermo don't. I mean, by the way, if you're worried about AFCON with Mbermo, you could just buy Fernandes instead. I mean, he's almost the same price anyway. Or you could go Cunha if he does all right. Szoboszlai or Doku for this week. Szoboszlai. Who the captain? Haaland, Saka, Mateta. I'm going Saka out of those. I also think Semenyo starts. As someone who had an ankle injury, he's not running off the field like that and not playing today. With so many injuries, they'll risk him for sure, so I wouldn't sell. I know, I don't really want to sell him, but I'm also kind of thinking about it. Delap is going to outscore every striker this game week. That seems quite unlikely, to be honest, but I guess so. Thoughts on the Ireland win? I am gutted that I couldn't watch it. I was actually in England last weekend, so I was flying. I missed the first England game because I was flying, and I think Ireland played the same day, didn't they, against Portugal? So I knew Ronaldo had been sent off while I was sat in the airport, and I knew Ireland had scored because I heard the cheer from the bar. I was waiting for my flight to board, and then the second game. So I also missed the second Ireland and England games because I was flying back. So I was in the airport when I saw that Parrott had scored the hat trick. So yeah, delighted, and hopefully they go on and do it now. I think there was probably a slightly better draw they could have had, but the fact that they've got the final, I mean, they've got to beat the Czechs first, right? So it's not even a guarantee they get to the Denmark game. If they do, it's at home. So fingers crossed. I'd love them to get to the World Cup. But it's it'll be tough. We'll see. We'll see in March. As someone who's had an ankle injury. Yes, as someone who's had an ankle injury and had to play a Premier League game at the weekend, I can tell you now he's fine. If on free hit, would you... I mean, I did my ankle at a Christmas party once, and I think the alcohol just took me through it. So maybe the next day it was much worse when the alcohol had worn off. So maybe Semenyo just needs to have a couple of beers or something. If on free hit, would you have Haaland? No, I don't think so. I mean, I would be very scared, but I don't think I would. Got exact money to do Gabriel and Rice to Van Dijk and Bruno next week with 2 free transfers, yay or nay? I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. Going to punt on Gakpo captain. Oh, I couldn't do that. Like, are you 100% sure he starts? Like, that's the problem with picks like Gakpo. Even with Verts out, you cannot be 100% certain. Like, I think Gakpo will start. Is that enough to captain him? I couldn't do it. No penalties, no guaranteed start. Even if he starts, could get benched. And it's boring. I get it, right? I get it. You want me to say Gakpo's amazing? It's a great punt. Go. I think it's rubbish, captain. Honestly, I've got to be honest with you. Stack to Gakpo for -4. I mean, I probably wouldn't do that. My daughter lives in Czech Republic. I'm shouting for them despite being Irish. No, come on, can't do that. I mean, you can obviously. It's up to you, but fair enough. We'll leave that there. Who should I start, Semenyo or Eze? I mean, Semenyo is better. I'd probably go Semenyo. I'm on wildcard. What is the best team? I mean, I don't know about the exact best team, but I would. I mean, you could go for 2 Arsenal defenders, or you could not have any. I would probably have Saka. I'd probably have at least 1 Man United attacker. I would have Erling Haaland. I'd have Mateta. I'd have Van Dijk. Then fill it in from there. Bench 1: Van Dijk, Timber, Richards, Senesi, Enzo. Richards. Play Szoboszlai or Thiago? Probably Thiago. Could you do a captain poll? Yeah, should I? I'm gonna ask people who their captain is rather than who they think is the best captain. Your game week, because there is a slight difference. You might not have who you think is the best captain. So Haaland, I'm going to put in, but I think a lot of people will be thinking about Mbermo, honestly. Saka, then someone else. Salah, I guess. But Salah's solo own. You'll have to put Salah in someone else, I think. Is Konza fit? He should be fine, yeah. Yeah, if you're captaining someone that's not Haaland, Mbermo, or Saka, just put it in the someone. Oh my God, Haaland's already doing so well. 97% Gakpo starts, and I am backing him to be fired up with something to prove after 2 benches. Got plans to move him on. Yeah, fair enough. But by the way, it's fine to take that punt. I'm just saying with captaincy, I want to be 100% sure my captain starts, not 97%. Because captain can, like, captain can be the difference between a great game week versus a good one, or a good one versus a terrible one. Like, you want to be sure about it, in my opinion. There's too many other good captains this week to take a risk on someone like Gakpo. On wildcard, would you downgrade Delict to short and Mbermo to Gakpo to upgrade Estevan Guiu? Probably not. But again, it depends how often you think you're going to have to play Estevan Guiu. If the answer is not very much, I wouldn't do it. Like, surely Guiu just gets locked into your third bench. Bench one, Senesi, Joachim Andersen, Lacroix. Yeah, see, this is the exact dilemma which makes me not want to buy Minte, because I would have this same problem and I don't know who I would bench. My gut feeling when I set out the bus team is that I'd bench Lacroix, but I think they've got better clean sheet odds. And I'm telling you now, Lacroix is going to score me a goal eventually. So I've now got this thing that I need Lacroix to score me a goal, so I can't bench him, even though it's stupid to think like that. I think I would bench Joachim Andersen, but why? I don't know. Do I think Krupa Jr. will start? Probably not. Yeah, no Salah, because he's quite low owned. I think more people will captain in Burma than Salah this week, just due to ownership. Do I make around £10,000 in a month? Not with 50k streams. No. Would the yellow flag on Semenyo stop you from activating the bench boost? Probably, but it depends how bad the benches are going to be over the next few weeks. I mean, what are the chances that he just completely misses out? It's got to be quite low. By the way, chances are Lacroix just doesn't score, and Wolves will probably just score, and it'll be a nightmare. Would you have Semenyo on wildcard? Oh, good question. Good question. If you're playing free hit in game week 13, no. I would just take the risk that he's going to miss out or be benched. Because if free hit 13 doesn't matter. And like 14, 15, 16, he's pretty good. He is pretty good. Yeah, free hit 13, no. If you're not free hit 13, I don't know. If I was actually putting a wildcard together, would I actually go about Semenyo, who's got West Ham, Sunderland, Everton next three? I really just think the most likely outcome is he starts. The fact that they said the ankle problem happened before Villa and he just played 90 minutes, like, would I have Semenyo on wildcard? Can you really put a player in who's a doubt on wildcard? I feel like no. I want to say no, but like, let me just say, it's very easy to say something like that when you don't have to do it. But the fact that I'm giving genuine consideration to selling Semenyo when I don't really have to makes me think I wouldn't have him on wildcard. The main issue I have with selling Semenyo is I'm not actually that happy with any of the replacements. Like, if I sell Semenyo rather than covering him with Minte, I'll probably buy Cunha, but I'm not 100% certain Cunha is a great pick. I don't like Doku. I don't like Gakpo. I mean, Sar's good for the next... I mean, Sar could be really good. I feel like that's a bit of a blind spot for me this week. Minte's not a bad long-term option. Who else even? It's Saboslo, but he's on 4 yellow cards. That's the problem with dropping some... Like, Foden. And also, you've got money tied up in him as well, right? Like most people do. I feel like the answer should be no, I wouldn't have him on wildcard, but I can't promise you that if I was wildcarding this week that I would actually do that. Best goalkeeper for a clean sheet this week. Raya, probably. I mean, it's always Arsenal, isn't it? Even without Gabriel. I mean, the clean sheet odds will say Arsenal. I'm almost sure of it. Arsenal 40. Yeah, Arsenal got the highest clean sheet odds this week, even though they're playing Spurs. I mean, after that, it's probably like Alisson or Sanchez, something like that. Enzo or Sarr for free hit. I think I prefer Sarr. Play Van Heck or Njai. Njai, I think. Captain Mateta or Haaland. Would you sell Semenyo 7.4 million to buy Saka for a hit? Probably not. How is the weather in Burnley this morning? Probably bad. Bad enough to rule out a football game? Probably not. Start Senesi or Richards? Senesi. Senesi. Sitting top 100k, have stacked Reinders and Semenyo, who will start, in my opinion, in my starting team. I haven't taken a hit this season. Is it time? Yeah, probably. I mean, stacking Reinders are pretty bad. Hope you are. Do you think Reinders starts? I actually don't know. I haven't thought about Reinders too much because I got rid of him. I'm not sure who Luke is predicting this week. Luke predicted Reinders to not start last week. Newcastle away. I mean, he could go back in. He could go back in, but I think if you can deal with Reinders, I would probably do it. So nervous for the North London derby. The fact that Gabriel is out is great for us, but yeah, I don't know if it's that good. Like, it's obviously better than Gabriel playing, obviously, but I don't think it dents Arsenal that much. Like, Nketiah just comes in, right? And like, Nketiah's not he's not like a kid or anything like that, you know. By the way, Nketiah might not come in. It could be Mosquera. But I mean, he's played games for Arsenal and looked all right as well. There was one game, I remember Mosquera, I think he made a bit of... Did someone score from a corner after Mosquera mistake? Maybe. But apart from that, I think he's played pretty well in the times that I've seen him. Reinders will be a great pick for the following matches. Will he, though? Like, he hasn't started either of the last two. So I don't think he is a great pick. I mean, if he starts, he's fine, yeah? Wildcard, Shaw, Pau Torres, Semenyo, or Delict, Esteve, and Cunha, I guess. Probably Delict and Cunha. Back five with Anderson or back four with Gakpo. I mean, Anderson versus... I would... If you've got Gakpo, you've got to play him, I think. So, yeah, him. Like, with those questions, don't worry about the formation. It's just Gakpo versus Anderson, right? I have extra cash for a midfielder, Gakpo or Rodgers. Probably Gakpo, but I don't like either, really. For those of us who haven't played Triple Captain, when and who should we play it on? You should play it on Haaland in 13, 15, or 17, pretty much. If you want to go mega differential, by the way, you play it on Salah in 12 or 14, but Haaland's going to be the easier one. I wouldn't be going out of your way to get Salah for Triple Captain, put it that way. But not when Haaland's literally right there. Right there. When do Bournemouth play at 3 o'clock? So we're going to be put out of our misery one way or another pretty early. In fact, Liverpool's the game at 3 o'clock. I don't know if I want to watch that with only Van Dijk. All my defenders are playing... Oh, no, wait, I've got 5 defenders. Oh, yeah, so obviously Timber plays tomorrow. 4 of my defenders are playing at 3 o'clock. So that's going to be all my clean sheets wiped out by 10 past 3. Palace, Liverpool, Fulham, and Bournemouth. Less than an hour to the deadline, by the way. Can you please say something about Semenyo? Is he out? I can't say anything other than he's a doubt. I think he will play, but who knows? Bench 1, Voltemada, Njai, or Caicedo? I mean, probably Caicedo, honestly. Even though he's the greatest goal scorer in the Premier League this season. Why is nobody playing Van Heck? Because they don't own him, basically. Saliba or Timber? Saliba is cheap. Yeah, I've gone for Timber, but I like Saliba. I agree. I think Saliba's goal threat will probably go up now without Gabriel. I do have some regret about going Timber, honestly. But not like enough where I think it was a terrible mistake. But for 0.2 million cheaper, I'd be tempted, you know. I'd be tempted. James, 3 months. I have an overall rank of 1. Okay, nice. What's the realistic target to aim for by the end of the season? I mean, you could get anywhere. Top 10k, top 5k. Like, we're still so early in the season, I wouldn't really worry. I mean, it's interesting when people say they aim for a certain rank. Like, by certain... So you might hear, like, I'd like to be in the top 1 million by game week 10, or I'd like to be in the top 500k by game week 15. Like, that's my aim. But, like... How do you aim for that? Because you're always just trying to get the most points, right? Like, maybe it's a hope more than anything. Like, I feel happier if I'm top 500k by game week 20 or whatever. I don't know. But, like, you've got an overall rank of 1.3. What's the realistic target to aim for? As high as you can get, like, with the most points. I don't know. Like, you could still get top 1k. You could probably still finish top 100 if things go really right. You also might finish outside the top 2 million, right? I don't know. What's the realistic? Try and get the most points and hope for the best. Sell Voltamada for Thiago. Sure. Yeah, Thiago is probably the better long-term pick. And he doesn't play Man City. Cricket's finished. Damn. England, not good. You can play differently depending on the current rank. That is fair, yeah. Some people will play differently depending on the rank. That is fair. But, like, yeah, true. But if I get to game week 10 and I'm 1 million versus 2 million, am I really making different moves? I'm happy that I'm 1 million in game week 10, so I'll be a bit more conservative. I don't know. Maybe, do I do that? Maybe. Without thinking about it, possibly. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Maybe there's something in that. But in that case, I should be pretty happy being 300k right now, and I should captain Haaland, right? I don't know. Anyway. I'm on wildcard, Saliba over Timber. Yeah, if you want to go for that, you could. Start O'Reilly or Trufair. Probably Trufair. Play 2, Calafiori, Senesi or Enzo. Senesi and Enzo, I think. Am I mad going Semenyo to Mbermo? Nope. Bench 1, Njai, Voltamada, Semenyo. Probably Voltamada. Do I roll or any move you recommend? 2 free transfers, no budget. Dubravka, Timber, Senesi, Anderson, Saka, Semenyo, and Mbermo. So, I mean, your first 11 is really good. And even Gay is a good first sub. And Anderson, I mean, Anderson's really good too. And Rodon's not bad. So I think you're probably fine to roll. Semenyo and Pope to Mbermo and Petrovic for a -4. I don't particularly like that, but I don't hate it also because you probably are better off with Petrovic just because it saves money longer term. So I think I'll have to put that down as a don't hate it. Matthew, 27 months. The big question: play Porro or Estev? What a big question. Away to Arsenal and home. I mean, is the answer Estev? I feel like the answer is Estev. Is that real? I'd probably play Porro, but I feel like the answer should be Estev. Reinders, Szoboszlai or Roll. I'd probably move Reinders on. Start some Andy Reynolds, thanks. Start Semenyo or Szoboszlai. Semenyo probably. Start João Pedro or Sarr. Sarr, I think. Free hit 13, 2.4 million in the bank, 1 free transfer. Would you sell Njai to Mbermo, Semenyo to Saka, or Gabriel to Timber, or -4 to do 2 of those moves? I probably wouldn't take a -4. I mean, honestly, with free hit 13, all those moves are good. I know it's like obvious to say. So you should probably do the one, like Gabriel's the biggest. I mean, he's not going to play, right? So you like if you're having to play all those players, then you have to do Gabriel to Timber because it stops you having to play Keane, I think. So that's probably the right move. Would I take a -4? Probably not. Best Reinders replacement can go to 7.2 million. 7.2. Sarr, maybe? Szoboszlai, if you want to take the risk. I feel like there's someone closer to 7 million who I'm missing, but I don't think so. Sarr? Should I play Vicario or Dubravka? Probably Vicario. Leaving it till last minute for the Semenyo switch or undecided. Yeah, I think I will use a second transfer. It's bad to buy Minte now after I missed the price rise, but he might rise again before I want him. It's not the end of the world. It feels rubbish to make a move to strengthen your bench. But we do have transfers to use, so maybe it's not the worst time to do that. I don't know. Have 5 free transfers. Pope, Gabriel, I'm liking this already. Pope, Gabriel, Semenyo, Calvert-Lewin to Verbruggen, Van Dijk, Foden, Thiago, or risk Semenyo this week for better fixture. Planning to bench boost. I mean, if you're going to bench boost, I'd be tempted to play it safe and do it. I mean, I prefer a Man United midfielder to Foden, but I don't hate Foden. Yeah, I quite like that. Voltemada, Reinders, Gabriel to Guiu, and Burmo, Saliba -4. I think because of the hit, that's a don't hate it, but it's okay for a hit. Play Gravenberch or Lacroix, probably Lacroix. Take a hit for Szoboszlai or for Marino / Trossard. Probably not, but depends who your other options are. Best keeper for a clean sheet, Royf's. I really don't think you can argue that the best keeper for a clean sheet this week is the Sunderland keeper when he's playing away, even if it is Fulham. Thiago Brentford instead of Gyökeres Arsenal. Yeah, because Gyökeres might not even start. In fact, he probably doesn't. Bench boost with Dubravka, Timber, Calvert-Lewin, and... Sorry, I'm not laughing at your question. Something else. Bench boost with Dubravka, Timber, Calvert-Lewin, and Goodmanson. I mean, yes, but Timber's not really on your bench, is he? Is he? Really? Is he? Can't believe Salah didn't even get named in the poll, but I don't think many people are captaining him, are they? Oh, Haaland 61%. Wow, I'm going against him. 1 free transfer, 1 million in the banks. Semenyo to Mbeumo or Tarkowski to Timber. Oh, God. I mean, if Semenyo plays, it's Tarkowski to Timber, right? Like, no doubt. So probably that one. Do we think if Semenyo is anything other than fit, he'll be left out of the squad, so cameo is unlikely? Yeah, the least likely thing is the cameo, in my opinion. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but that's the least likely thing to happen. I think he starts, or if he's fit enough to play some part. If he's fit to the point where he's not out of the squad, surely he starts, is what I'm trying to say, in a really bad way, which doesn't make any sense. JC, Dallo to Walker Peters, or oh come on, you can't be bringing me players I can't pronounce the name of. I'm gonna go for the guy that I can't pronounce the name of, basically. But I don't know. I don't even know who that is. I don't know what's like. I'm probably making myself look like an idiot. I don't even know what. Oh, okay, Wolves. Okay. I mean, if he plays for Wolves, that's probably bad. West Ham's fixtures are pretty bad as well, though. Let me just check Wolves' fixtures. I'm not actually 100% sure. I can't even think of a Wolves midfielder. I've got the midfielder list up. I mean, Wolves aren't keeping any clean sheets anytime soon, surely. I don't know. Maybe against Forest at home. Walker Peters, but how often would he be off the bench? They've got to play something apart, right? I guess the Wolves guy, if he's playing. But I don't know. I've got no idea. I've never heard of that guy. I mean, he does sometimes play 90 minutes. But Walker Peters, is he always... Sorry, by the way, JC is like playing anti-FPL. I mean, Kyle Walker Peters always comes off the bench. Okay, Walker Peters. I reckon Wolves are going to get a clean sheet soon because I'm an idiot. I'm going to say Walker Peters. I don't really know. I don't think about anti-FPL that much. Captain Haaland, Semenyo or Mateta. You cannot captain Semenyo this week. Haaland. Bench boost, Voltemada, Semenyo, Stack, Calafiori and Dubravka. That's a cheating bench. That's 5 players. I think I probably wouldn't bench that. I'd want to make it a bit stronger, be a bit more certain. I mean, Stack did play the last game, so I guess he plays again, but I don't know if I would bench boost that. But again, when are you going to get a better bench? Semenyo and Mbeumo to Mbeumo -4, or stick with Semenyo with free hit 13. Probably stick rather than take the hit, I think. Semenyo to Saka and Mbeumo. I prefer Saka over Mbeumo, but there is a price difference you need to think about. Start Krupi Jr. or Reece James. Gabriel / Semenyo to Van Dijk, Saka, 2 free transfers. That sounds really nice to me. Sounds really nice, especially if you want to captain Saka. Bench 1. Enzo, Semenyo, Marino, João Pedro. Probably Semenyo. Just because he's the only... Then again, if he plays, he's so good. João Pedro. And just hope that Semenyo either plays or is benched. On wildcard, Bruno and Rice or Saka in a 7.1 million midfielder, not Sarr. Saka in a 7.1 million midfielder. Oh, you can't go Rice. Okay. Saka and Szoboszlai, maybe. Saka and Minte. I don't know. I think Rice is a bit overrated. I think Rice basically got a bunch of points really quickly, and so people started overrating him by saying like he's this all-round midfielder that's pretty good, which he is. But they wouldn't have been so excited about him if he hadn't got a bunch of points really quickly. So I think Rice is fine, and if you've got him, you definitely shouldn't be panicking, and you can absolutely buy him. I think I prefer Saka and Minte to Bruno and Rice. I mean, you could go Bruno and Minte and save some money. I'm trying to like. I'm not convinced of Szoboszlai right now. 4 free transfers: Saka and Semenyo to Salah, captain and bench. Oh, and bench someone else, I guess. I really don't. It feels wrong to say no to that, but Saka's fine this week. So using transfers to get Salah just to sell him again later. I mean, I look as a differential move because you got 4 free transfers. If you've got nothing else to do, I don't mind it. Obviously, huge differential. But like, it still just feels wrong somehow. I don't know. Cauliflower or broccoli? Broccoli by a mile. I had 2 free transfers. Made Gabriel to Van Dijk last night. I want to bring in Burma. Would you do it for Njai or Semenyo? Probably Njai. Which feels right. This is why Semenyo is so difficult. Like, for some people, it probably makes sense to sell. For others, it makes sense to keep. Why is everyone selling Semenyo? I don't think everyone is selling Semenyo. I think some people are selling Semenyo because he's a doubt and they've got a bunch of transfers to use. He's been sold. What? He's been sold by 550,000 people. Wow. Are Ireland going to the World Cup? 100%. Yeah. Sorry, Denmark. Sorry, Czech Republic. I just realised I've been listening to freaking Phoenix the whole time. Let me change that now. Start Richards or Canate. Canate, I guess. Bench Minte or Enzo. Minte. Are you worried about Saka's minutes? Not really. I mean, when Madueke's back, maybe there's some slight concern there. But I mean, he's there. Like, we had this same conversation ahead of game week 11. Right? I think there is reason to have some slight reservations about how good Saka's minutes will be when everyone else is fit, especially Madueke. But essentially, he's their Salah, right? You don't expect... He's their Salah. He's their Haaland. He's their best attacker. So, like, Marmoush could play for Haaland. It's not going to happen, is it? Saka could, like, I don't know. If the game's won, like, if Arsenal are 4-0 up and Madueke's sat on the bench, of course Saka gets brought off. But in terms of him being like a bad pick because of minutes, I don't know. Just don't see it really. But there are midweek game weeks coming up. There's lots of football in Champions League. Maybe it happens. Bench 1, Trufair, Senesi, Kukureya, Munoz. Ooh, probably Trufair out of them. I got Verts injured, 1.4 in about 1 free transfer. What should I do? You should probably just buy a Man United midfielder. Fernandes and Burmo Cunha. Bench boost to Bravka, Estev, Bowen, Reece James. I own Semenyo. I don't think I could. I don't think I could bench boost with a player that's flagged unless I was like almost certain they would start, which I guess I kind of am with Semenyo, but I don't know. I'm going to say no. I had 2 free chances. Made Gabriel to Van. Oh, yeah, I did that one. Bench Minte or Enzo. Minte, that one. Bench 1 of Foden, Semenyo, Minte, Ekitike, Sarr. I mean, probably Ekitike. He's the least likely to start, right? Although if he does start, he's good. Is it stupid to -4 Gay to Richards to afford Semenyo and Paquetá to Saka and Burma? I know it's not great just swapping the players, but I'm tempted. Again, that probably goes down as a, like, don't hate it. But you could just keep Semenyo and do him to Burma another week and just not take the -4. Because Semenyo is cheaper than Burma, so you don't need him as part of the funds, right? Like, if you can do Gay to Richards to do Paquetá to Saka, that sounds quite nice. You're going to keep Caicedo? Nice, you should. He's an absolute goal-scoring machine. He had 0 XG next week. The goals are coming. 0 XG last week. The goals are coming. Marino to Saka for free. I mean, Saka is the better longer-term pick, but Marino probably starts this week. But yeah, if you can If you can get Saka for free, that sounds quite nice. Saka captain better work out. I mean, it might not. Sometimes players blank. Saka could blank. Captain Sarr or Mateta. I go to penalty taker in that case. Would you play King for Fulham versus Sunderland or Rodon for Leeds? I mean, the problem with King is the minutes are just not guaranteed, are they? Like 45, 71, 14. I think... Let me see. I think Smith Rowe's fit now, right? So could Smith Rowe start ahead of King? I don't know if that's very likely. King probably starts, but the minutes are just a bit rubbish. So I go for the other guy. Although I've been answering that question for so long, I can't remember who the other guy was. If I'm honest, I've lost the question. Oh, Rodon, wasn't it? I don't know. If you think King starts, maybe just take the risk. But Rodon definitely starts. Gay's going to start, yes. Bench Semenyo, Sarr, or Minte. 11 months, Tristo. Semenyo. Why Saka over Haaland Mateta? Home game. And Arsenal are pretty good. That's about it. Semenyo or play Semenyo or Cunha -4. Probably just play Semenyo. 24 months, by the way. 2 years today. Thank you very much. Captain. Oh, did that one. What do you eat the most for protein gains? Protein. Timber or Van Dijk if you had to choose one? Van Dijk. Should I captain Bruno over Haaland? Probably not, but I think I would do that if it is a choice between the two. Dewsbury Hall scores. I've seen it in a dream. Maybe. Bench Saliba or Njai? I don't know if I just don't think I could bench Njai. So probably Saliba, but I hate it. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God, I'm yawning. That's so bad. That is so bad. Can you imagine if someone on TV did that? Can you imagine if someone just sat there doing BBC News and they just yawned? Can you imagine the uproar on Twitter if someone did that? I apologise. I don't know why I'm so tired. I went to bed at a reasonable time last night. Got me a walk in this morning. I was up at a normal time this morning as well. I don't know why I'm so tired. We'll be watching from behind the sofa with that Haaland feet. I honestly, this is the bad thing about FPL, right? Sometimes it makes us, sometimes it will make us watch games we wouldn't usually, but sometimes it makes us not want to watch games that we usually like. I don't know if I can bring myself to watch Newcastle Man City if I don't have Haaland. The thing is, sometimes it's better to be watching the game. It depends how the game goes, obviously, right? But if you're watching and Haaland's not playing well, it's much better to be watching because you know actually he's not getting that many chances. Whereas if you're not watching, all you're thinking is Haaland's getting shots every 2 seconds. But obviously, if you watch and Man City just absolutely smash Newcastle, it's horrible. Like it should, but FPL shouldn't have that effect, but it does, right? So I don't know if I can watch Newcastle Man City today without Haaland captain. So I won't be behind the sofa. I'll be completely ignorant about what's happening. Although I won't be able to not check. That's the problem. So I should probably just watch it. I don't know. We'll see. Any update on Semenyo? Nope, unfortunately not. Bench him or Njai? Probably Njai. Bench boost to Bravka, Anderson, Mukiele, Xhaka. Have Semenyo. Oh, I hate these questions because I don't know the correct answer. My gut feeling is I wouldn't bench boost with a doubt in my team. So I'll leave it at that. Member for 10 months to Tifa. Should I get Timber or Van Dijk? Van Dijk probably. Thiago, Saka, Thiago, Timber, or Guiu, Saka, Timber -4. Selling Yorkeresh, Paquetá, Goodmanson. No Arsenal defender, not on free hit 13. Use bench boost already. Oh my God. Thiago and Saka and just get Timber later on. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, I get it. Thiago, Saka, I think. Play Pope or Dubravka? Pope. Did that one. Enzo, top underperformer for XGI last 6 game weeks. Feels rough owning him. Yeah, he's a good pick again this week. Hopefully he does nothing as a non-owner, but we'll see. You don't need to do the second transfer. Dewsbury Hall will smash it. I doubt that somehow. I have Enzo, Semenyo, Gabriel, Sabossa. I'm going to roll this week and then free hit next week and reassess my team with fresh transfers. Or maybe a wild card is needed. Oh, come on. If you've got a wild card, what are you waiting for? Although Sabossa is fine, by the way. And so is Enzo. So you haven't got a huge amount of issues. But honestly, if you're sat there with multiple doubts in your team, like, what's the wild card being saved for? But also, you've only got 37 minutes to think about it now. That's the only other problem. Rank Caicedo, Voltemada, and Anderson from Fulham this game week. Voltemada, then Anderson, then Caicedo, probably. Yeah, Sabossa might play right back, but he's not enough to necessarily hit the wildcard button, right? Have I gone to the Galway Christmas market yet? No, not yet. Although I can probably guess exactly what's there and in what order, because the stores are pretty much always exactly the same. Not trying to be like super negative about it, but it's just when you've been to it, like I go every year, so the excitement about going is a little bit less, but it's still nice. Bench one: Minte, João Pedro, Semenyo. Oh, God, Minte probably. I don't know what to say about Semenyo because most people are asking me, should I bench this guy or Semenyo? I'm saying start Semenyo, but I might sell him. Like, it's such a weird one. I don't know if I can sell him. But I might cover him. I might bring in Minte. What's worrying me about selling Semenyo is Cunha. I don't necessarily have full confidence that he's great. Whereas I think Semenyo is really good. Although, interestingly, people keep mentioning that Cunha's underlying stats are not that great this year. Like it's like what are they? Hang on. I think it's about 0.3 expected goal involvement, something like that. Guess what Semenyo's are? About 0.3. So I don't know. If Cunha had done what, I mean, obviously he wouldn't be the same price, but let's say Cunha somehow was 7.9 million and he'd been as good as in Burmo, I would do Semenyo as Cunha without even thinking about it, almost. Because I know that Cunha would be so good long term and he would keep playing, but there's just some doubts there. But also, try and think about which midfielders you want to, like, tell me in the chat, which midfielders do you want to own once AFCON comes? I mean, Semenyo is pretty good for game week 17 specifically. But then it's Brentford away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. It's just like, whatever. I don't really care about him then. Foden, I don't know if I'm ever going to get fully on board. Yeah, Bruno I've already got. Saka I've already got. Minte's not bad. Szoboszlai, if he's had his suspension, he's playing in midfield. Tavernier, Cherky. So this is my point, right? I'm worried. Sharda, by the way, is another one you should say. Utara's going to Gakpo, yeah. So, okay. This is my... I'm basically trying to devil's advocate my own point, right? I'm saying that I don't really want to do Semenyo to Cunha because I'm not 100% sure that Cunha is like a great long-term pick. But look at some of the players that people are putting up as alternatives. Rodgers is not better than Cunha. Like, and when I say not better, like maybe they match each other, but I don't think you can say Rodgers is definitely. And by the way, sorry, let me just clarify here. I know the question wasn't who's better than Cunha. It was just which midfielders are you looking at. My point is to try and make clear that there's not that many great midfielders once AFCON starts. Like Rodgers, I prefer Cunha. Doku, I prefer Cunha. Gakpo, I prefer Cunha. Foden, if he keeps playing 90 minutes every week, he probably is better, especially with the fixtures that Man City have got. But you know me, right? I hate buying Man City players. Enzo Fernandez, I don't agree. I think long-term Chelsea's fixtures, they're okay. So there's actually not that many midfielders who are great. Emi Buendia, I'm never going to go there. I'm never going to be 100% certain about his minutes. And also, if you looked at Villa's fixtures, they're not very good from like 14 to 19. So this is a long way. Yeah, Palmer. Yeah, I completely agree. If Palmer's fit, great option. If he's fit, but also he's way more expensive. So what I'm trying to do is get on board with buying Cunha. And the argument I'm making is, if I buy Cunha, who am I missing out on? And I think the answer is no one. Apart from Mbeumo, but I can't afford him, so it doesn't matter. So on the one hand, I don't want to do Semenyo to Cunha. One, because Semenyo is just great this week if he plays. But two, because I'm not quite sure about Cunha, but I'm not sure about anyone else. See, like, thoughts on Chiesa come AFCON. Like, if we're starting to worry about Chiesa, I should just buy Cunha, shouldn't I? Chiesa just won't play enough, I don't think. Super chatted without a message first time. Outstanding stuff. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Bradley on my bench. Do I take a hit or play Mukiele, I think? Start Voltemada or start Rodgers? Probably Voltemada. Thoughts on Mateta Captaincy? He's probably not in my top 5, I would say. But he's not awful either. Okay. Have Haaland and Salah. Keep both or go Saka. Keep both for now. Basically, keep both until you need to spread the cash and then get rid of Salah. I have 3 free transfers. Currently, no Man United players. Gabriel, Semenyo out for Bruno and Senesi. Nice. Gabriel and Jai out for Cunha and Senesi. Again, Semenyo is a better long-term hold than Njai, so I'd probably do the Njai move. Should I start Thiago or Senesi? I'd probably start Thiago. Bench 1, Semenyo, Enzo or Thiago. Semenyo, 2 penalty takers who aren't flagged. I'd bench Semenyo, but I would hate it. Start Dubravka or Pope. Njai or Minte on wildcard. Minte or maybe someone else. Depends how much money you've got to spend, but around that price, Minte is a really nice long-term pick. Have 10 players ready if Semenyo's out. Should I cover him for a -4? Oh, you only have 10 players if he's out. Otherwise, I've got to play Goodmanson and hope Semenyo starts. Ooh. A -4 for cover. I mean, usually that would be a straight no, but if you're going to be down to 10 players, I've got... Otherwise, okay. So if you've got to play Goodmanson anyway, and if Semenyo doesn't play, you've got 10 players. Okay, here's what I would say. I don't really like it, but if Minte is also an upgrade on one of the other players, like, I don't know, let's say you've got Keane against Everton, against Man United away, who's not awful, right, but Minte would be better. In that case, maybe I would take the hit and bench someone like Keane. But it's going to feel really bad if Semenyo plays. Tempted to free hit this week, good or bad versus Game Week 13. It really depends on your team. The thing that I think some people ignore on free hit is it's more important to think about which week your team looks bad. No, I don't know how to explain this. Basically, how good is your team right now? I guess is the easy way. If your team looks really good, that's also a terrible way to explain it. Okay, I'm free hitting in 13 because my team's going to look worse next week than it does this week. I mean, it's actually quite simple, but I'm just terrible at explaining stuff, which is terrible for someone that does YouTube. Most people's teams, if they look good in 12, they'll also look good in 14. That's why free hit 13 is quite nice. But if your team's going to look good in 13 or you're going to wildcard next week, then of course you can free hit this week instead. Price changes ruin my plans. Ahmad justify. I wouldn't buy Ahmad just to cover Cunha and Burma. I would just go for a player from a different team. Semenyo or Enzo, I guess this week because he's not flagged, Enzo. 1 free transfer, Njai to Saka, Minte, Szoboszlai, Cunha, Rodgers, Gakpo. Saka if you can afford it. Would you get rid of Semenyo on wildcard for Gakpo? No, probably not. I don't like Gakpo as a pick. Bench 1, Minte, Jao. I did that one. Okay, I think I caught up. I'm priced out for Mbeumo for Njai, Mbeumo for Semenyo or Enzo, or -4. Or -4 Mbeumo for Njai and Thiago for Voltemar. No, I wouldn't -4. I would just do... Well, if you could do Njai to Cunha, I'd consider that. Otherwise, I would do... I guess do Semenyo out. Which is horrible. I guess just get Cunha for Njai instead of selling Semenyo. Can afford Marino to Cunha, should I do it? I mean, Cunha's the better long-term pick, but Marino probably starts this week. But you know, I really don't hate that move, because as I've just discussed in a really terribly long-winded way, I think Cunha's not a bad long-term pick. Dubravka, Senesi, Van Heck, Szoboszlai, bench boost, no-brainer. If that's really your bench, it's a no-brainer. I'm not convinced it's really your bench, but maybe it is. Maybe you just got that good a team. Is Mateta Captaincy being overlooked this week? Wolves by far the worst team. Do you know what? 40 months, by the way, thanks. I'm not super Oh my god. Sorry, I'm nothing interesting on my phone. I've just realised one of my group chats who not really into FPL in a massive way. So lots of messages, but nothing interesting by the looks of it. But it distracted me anyway. There's a picture of like a drive-through or something. Starbucks drive-through. Anyway, where was I? Mateta. Yeah, I don't know if Wolves are the worst team in the league. I think that might actually just still be Burnley, but yeah, it's a really good fixture. But I don't think he makes my top 5. Yeah, I'm sure it's a Starbucks drive-through. I didn't even know they existed. I wonder where he is. He lives in Bristol, so maybe there's one in Bristol. Oh, there's Sai. No, they do. Sorry, yeah. I think he's saying steady on because I said they don't like. They do play FPL, but that's not what they're talking about right now. They're talking about drive-throughs or something. There's too many messages. I can't really see what's going on. I'm distracted now. Mateta Captain's fine. I don't think he's better than Saka, Haaland, Fernandes, maybe even in Burmo or Salah. Who do I bench out? Minte, Truffert, or Enzo? Probably Truffert. I feel like I always say his name differently. Whenever I say his name, I have to say it again pretty quickly. And I always say it 2 different ways. Gabriel to Van Dijk and Reinders to Minte, 2 free transfers. Love it. Mukiele to Munoz, -4, or place Senesi, Van Dijk, Anderson. Taking a -4 to bench one of Senesi, Van Dijk, Anderson sounds crazy to me. Play Tarkowski or bring in Van Dijk from -4. Play Tarkowski on wildcard and Bournemouth fans. On wildcard and Bournemouth fan that doesn't think Semenyo starts. Okay, interesting, because everyone else seems to think he will. I can get Anderson over to Tavernier, Semenyo to Mbermo, still keep Fernandes. Also, okay. I mean, Tavernier's probably okay, short-term-ish. Mbermo's good. Still keep Fernandes. Also, thoughts on Gusto versus who else at that price? I don't like Gusto. I don't think Chelsea are that great after this week. Especially if you're not free hit 13. Like, they haven't got... I don't know, they're okay. But, like, Arsenal at home's not great. Leeds is away. Bournemouth's away. Newcastle away in 17. I just wouldn't go there. I don't even know how much Gusto is. He's less than 5 million, right? 4.9. I mean, Bournemouth defender. Anderson. Richards. Lacroix, if you can get for 0.1 more. I think they're all better. Couple of super chats there with no message. Thank you. Is getting Minte instead of Semenyo worth it? I'd rather have Minte this week, I think, just because of the doubt. Option 1, back 3 is Saliba, Senesi, Timber. Saliba, Senesi, Timber. So do I bench Semenyo or Van Dijk? Ooh, Semenyo, I guess. And roll for 3 free transfers. Oh, sorry. Or roll for... There's more. And roll for 3 free transfers. Or option 2, Semenyo for Mbermo, just enough in the bank. Oh, I'd be tempted just to get Mbermo, honestly. I would. Like, there's an argument that Mbermo is just better anyway, and he's not flagged. Free hit is when you have 6 flagged players like me. Well, only if they're all going to be back next week. Right? Otherwise, you've got 6 flagged players next week as well. Timber or Van Dijk if no other Arsenal defenders. Van Dijk, I think. Plan was to bench boost before the international break by doing Reinders to Minte. Gabriel injury has meant I had to bring in Van Dijk instead. Would you still do the Minte move for a -4 on bench boost? If the bench is great, and it's not going to be any better anytime soon, I'd be tempted to do it, but preferably I would hold it. You can always bench boost after 16 when you got the 5 free transfers. Gabriel and Paquetá to Rodon and Mbermo from -4. Defenders left would be Calafiori, Munoz, Chalobah, Senesi. I don't hate it. In fact, I quite like it because both of those players are definitely out this week. Bench one of Van Dijk, James, Senesi, Lacroix, Timber. Oh my God, come on. Just play a back 5. Just play a back 5. Oh, by the way, one factor I didn't talk about earlier when I was going through my Semenyo to Cunha thoughts, and this is like a complete illogical reason, but it has crossed my mind. If I go Semenyo, this is going to sound so stupid. If I go Semenyo to Cunha instead of Paquetá to Minte, I get to play 5-3-2 this week. that thought has crossed my mind a little bit. And I've already missed the Minte price rise anyway. Semenyo's going to screw us and get 3, isn't he? 3 minutes. Van Dijk after a 3-0 loss. Yeah, I mean, to Man City. This is the kind of thing that gets people in trouble when they start making moves based on one game, you know? I mean, why does the Man City game count for more than the Villa and Real Madrid clean sheets before? The idea that you shouldn't buy Van Dijk before he plays Nottingham Forest at home because they lost to Man City away. It's not great thinking, in my opinion. Voltemada and Reinders out to get in Burma and Guiu. Sounds pretty nice to me. Would you do Enzo and Semenyo to Sarr and in Burma? This will mean playing Njai. Alternatively, just do Njai to Sarr, get in Burma next game week and play. Oh my god! Honestly, I promise you now. I don't know if other people that do FPL streamers can like process all that, but it's so hard to visualize what that means for this week and next week. Honestly. Will you do Enzo and Semenyo to Sarr and Mbermo? I mean, that sounds fine, yeah. Although, I don't know if I would sell Enzo this week. This will mean playing Njai, which is fine. Alternatively, just do Njai to Sarr, get Mbermo next week, and play Enzo and Semenyo and Sarr. Okay, I think I have got that. I just need to read it twice. I would probably just get Mbermo next week and play Enzo, Semenyo and Sarr. Captain Mateta or Bruno? Bruno. Do João Pedro to Krupi to afford Saka? I would just get Guiu if you're going down to that kind of price. I mean, you don't have to sell João Pedro this week unless you're desperate to captain Saka. Enzo or Minte. Cunha or Semenyo or Wildcard. I'm going to say Cunha. You think Mosquera starts? I don't know. My guess is in Capier, but this is why I would not buy either because no one knows for certain. Bench in Jai or Voltemada, probably in I'm gonna say Voltemada. Bench 1, Semenyo, Voltemada, Njai, Thiago. Voltemada. Bench 1 from Minte, Bruno. Bench 1 from Minte, Bruno, Sarr, Semenyo, Enzo. Sorry, someone's banging. It sounds like someone's hammering next door. I'm trying to figure out why. Bench 1 from Minte, Bruno, Sarr, Semenyo, Enzo. Enzo, but I hate it. What's the noise? Have Bruno, Gabriel, and Semenyo to Van Dijk and Mbermo. I mean, again, I quite like that. Can I just say, right, before any of you sell Semenyo, if he starts against West Ham, that's also going to be a you cannot watch that game type thing. Been agonising over James versus Senesi. Prediction, I go James. He's bench. 1 pointer. Semenyo doesn't play. Senesi comes off my bench. Blanks anyway. I mean, yeah, you've just described FPL in a nutshell. Hang on a sec. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like someone's hammering, but I don't know what. No one's in my back garden. Actually, let me check the cameras. Nope, no one's in the back garden. So weird. Okay. Start 2, Chalobah, Thiago, or Semenyo. I'd probably bench Chalobah out of those. Bench boost this to Dubravka, Caicedo, Richards, Adoretta. Yes. Gakpo or Cunha and Thiago for Saka and Guiu. I wouldn't sell Saka if that's part of the question. I would definitely get Cunha over Gakpo. I just do not trust Gakpo at all. The thing is, right, let's say Wirtz is out and Gakpo definitely starts. What happens if Wirtz is back in Game Week 13? They're building a Starbucks drive-thru next door. Maybe. Bruno for Semenyo or Mbeumo for Njai. It's probably got to be Mbeumo for Njai. Sold Semenyo yesterday. It's not fun. I said yesterday. I said to some people yesterday. I felt like I was going to buy Cunha on the deadline stream, and I think it's going to happen. I think I'm going to sell Semenyo for Cunha, and I can already I already feel like not great about it. Sometimes, honestly, I just want to go back to the days of buying Haaland before Burnley at home, because that was so easy. Buying Gabriel in game week 7, so easy. Buying Mateta in game week 10, so easy. And in the last couple of weeks, I've had to make transfer. I've actually had to think, like, do I get Saka or do I get Mbeumo and use all my transfers last week? Now I've had to sell Gabriel, although selling Gabriel was obviously straightforward. Timber, little bit of debate. Why am I overlooking Saar? That's a great question. That's a really good question. I don't know. Like, is Saar better than Cunha this week? He probably is, right? But I'm going to free hit 13. But basically, I think Saar's good for 3 weeks and then he's less good. Like, he's not terrible against Fulham away, not terrible against Man City, but they're not amazing fixtures. So with free hit 13, this is the thing. We've got 5 free transfers in game week 16, and I'm still thinking long term with all my moves. I'm still thinking just get Cunha and hold him the whole way through. Worst case scenario, I figure out how to get some money back, and I do. That's the other thing. I'm going to lose money if I sell Semenyo. If I want to buy him back, it's going to cost me 0.3 million. But he's going to drop in price if he misses out, right? He doesn't. He's probably not going to miss out. I already feel horrible. I can already feel it's just horrible move. Eze to Minte for free or roll. I'd probably just roll. Pope or Dubravka Pope. Would you bench boost Calafiori, Rodon, King, and Dubravka? Yes. Or with Semenyo in the squad, maybe not. Or transfer Calafiori and King. But the problem is, if you transfer Calafiori and King to Caicedo and Cash for a -4, what if Semenyo misses out? It's no better, right? I wouldn't -4 that. I think that bench is okay. Yeah, if you're happy with Semenyo, I'd bench boost that. Bench one from Sessegnon. Oh, interesting. Semenyo, Mateta, João Pedro. Probably Sessegnon. Bruno. I did that one. Gabriel to Van Dijk -4 or wait a week and start Mukele. Probably wait a week. Oh, I only have a Stev to cover Semenyo. I'd probably wait a week. Join the Minte. Well, the thing is, Paquetá to Minte will happen. If I don't do it this week, it will happen game week 14. These are times I'm happy I'm not a content creator. I can play without worrying. It's not even... Honestly, the worry about Semenyo to Cunha is not really anything to do with being a content creator. I just don't know if I should make the move. And I'd probably be thinking about exactly the same thing. Although, I guess maybe if I wasn't a content creator, I'd just do it, because who would I have to answer to? Do you trust Cunha to do better than Dewsbury Hall this week? I mean, if we're being realistic, let's say you've got to... Let's say I forced you to free hit in game week 12, and I said one of your midfielders has to be Cunha or Dewsbury Hall. Who are you picking? Like, really? Come on. You're not picking Dewsbury Hall over Cunha, right? But that is a good argument. Like... But this is the thing. I've said this. If this was a norm, I said this on the Final Thoughts video quite a lot yesterday. If we only had one free hit this season, I'd be saving it for the second half of the season. I would not be using it in game week 13. 100%, right? I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'd be just telling you I'm saving it for blanks, saving it for doubles, saving it blanks, saving it for doubles. And if we didn't have 5 free transfers in 16, I would not be in... I'm not even in a rush to sell Semenyo, but I wouldn't even be thinking about it. Because he might play against West Ham, and then he's got Sunderland, then he's got Everton, he's got Burnley in 17. He's a good long-term hold, but we do have 5 free transfers in 16, and I probably will free hit next week. I'll tell you what, actually, Semenyo to Cunha, like, basically means... Oh, no, it doesn't... No, it doesn't mean definite free hit 13, but I'm almost certain I will do it. We need to know if FPL Schofield is a good Bournemouth source. So he's a Bournemouth fan who maybe knows people close to the club. I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm seeing people on the timeline selling Semenyo now. There's a lot of people that just don't have him somehow as well. At least the people I'm following. So would you say it's better to keep Njai instead of bringing Doku? What about Rice? I'd prefer Rice, I think, over Njai and Doku probably right now. I just don't like Doku, but like that's just a preference for me. I hate players that I've got to check the team sheet for all the time. You heard Semenyo pulled a hamstring getting on one knee to propose. Do you know he's not that old yet. I mean I could see myself pulling a muscle by getting down on one knee, but Semenyo, Semenyo's in his prime. I'm sure he's fine. We expecting Chelsea team leaks? Nope. Will James start? Probably. Isak on free hit 13 if he starts today. I mean, let's discuss it in game week 13, I guess. My gut feeling is no, it's just going to be too much money. Because on my free hit 13, I want Haaland. You've got to have Haaland against Leeds, right? You've got to have Thiago against Burnley, I think, as well. So it's like, can you fit Isak in? I mean, the only way, in my opinion, you're going to get Isak is if you don't go for Salah, and I think I'd prefer Salah. But maybe. Let's say Isak starts today and so does Gakpo, and you think that's going to happen again in game week 13. Gakpo and Isak and get rid of Salah? Because I'm going to captain Haaland anyway. Yeah, maybe. I'll think about it, but I don't see it. I think that this free hit can very easily backfire. Yeah, absolutely can. Semenyo to Mbeumo, Gakpo -4. I don't particularly like the -4, especially if you've got an okay bench. Gabriel, Yorkresh, Njai, and Semenyo to Van Dijk, Guiu, Saka, and Mbeumo for free. Oh my god, that is such a good move. They are, if that's for free, which it is, because you've literally told me it's for free. I love that. Love it. Mostly because it's closer to my team, I guess. Yes. Yeah, sorry. I don't like the -4. Gabriel to Van Dijk -4. Wait a week. Oh no, I did that one. I'm getting lost now. Gabriel, Yorkresh, Njai. I did that one. Oh my god, sorry. Okay, we've got 10 minutes. Am I actually going to... I'm going to sell Semenyo. I'm telling you right now, with 10 minutes and 48 seconds ago, I'm going to sell Semenyo and I'm going to get Cunha and I'm going to get to the deadline. I'm going to absolutely hate it. I could just get Minte, though. I could just get Minte. Like, Minte comes in, like, he's going to come in eventually for me, for Paquetá. Hopefully I don't get priced out. If I get priced out of Paquetá to Minte, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Man United are a brilliant team. You should have 2 attack. Oh, my God. Are many others swapping Semenyo for Salah? No, not really. I don't think many people are buying him at all. Alex, 37 months. Starting Jai, Richards, or Anderson. Have a horrible feeling about Njai versus the Defcon Kings. Yeah. I think it probably should be Anderson ahead of Njai, but I think I would start Njai. But then again, the thing is, I'm benching Dewsbury Hall, but Njai is better, right? Because he's on penalties. I'll say Anderson and Njai. I'll say Anderson and Njai Richards, but honestly, I would probably start Njai if I actually had that decision. Semenyo to Rogers / Cunha with 1 free transfer or roll. I wouldn't buy Rogers. If you want to buy Cunha, you could do it. I might do it as well. But it's not an absolute necessity. Does Cash start? I think he probably will. Best replacement, have Richards and Senesi. Probably Anderson, but I think he'll play, so I won't worry about it. He's good next week as well. Bright light, thank you. Chelsea team, we don't really get leaks anymore, to be honest, especially for teams like Chelsea. Remember the name Mo Salah? Yeah, I might have heard of him. I can't afford Mbeumo, otherwise I'll be all over it. Honestly. Everyone keeps saying that to me. Why don't you buy Mbeumo instead of Kane? I'm like, I'd love to, but I don't have 0.7 million spare. 10-minute question, confused. GB to Tim... Is GB Gabriel to Timber -4 or hold? It depends, right? If you've got an okay defender you can play instead, I'd rather not take the -4. If you don't, then sure. Have you decided what you're doing then? I'm thinking Minte Semenyo has too good a run in. So, oh my god. Yeah, I could just get Minte. Okay, so this is what... Try and not... I wouldn't put too many super chats in now. Don't put too many super chats in. We were drinking last night. Settle a debate. Did you once triple captain Shane Duffy? Yeah, I might have been drunk at the time too, but yes, I did do that. And it didn't go well. Tom, 40 months, play Semenyo or Reinders? Semenyo. What's my moves this week? I've done Gabriel to Timber already, and now I'm thinking about doing Semenyo to Cunha or Paquetá to Minte. So here's the thing, right? Even though I'm going to free hit 13, Semenyo is quite good in 14. Everton at home. So if I do Paquetá to Minte and Semenyo was to miss out, I'd have Minte coming on, which is fine. 5-3-2. And Minte is also good in game week 14. So when I get to game week 14, if I've got another issue to deal with, yeah, see, this is why I think the Minte play is actually the better option. Njai or Minte? Minte. Yeah, Minte is the safer pick. Because basically, if I get to 14 with let's say I've got another issue in my squad that's not my attack, let's say it's a defender, I can deal with that because I'll have Minte in place already and I'll have Semenyo against Everton at home. So Minte is the correct choice, in my opinion. But if everything goes right, I'll have Cunha in place for West Ham at home, which is arguably better than Semenyo against Everton at home, although not necessarily if Semenyo's on penalties. Oh my God, I hate this. And I can just do Paquetá to Minte. The only issue I might run into is I get to game week 14, I've got Cunha, I've got to play Paquetá or Dewsbury, and I don't have another transfer to deal with an injury in my team. But we have to use our transfers by game week 15. So Minte is the correct call, I think. And I can just get Cunha in game week 14 if I want to for Semenyo. You got 5 minutes and 55 seconds. That's the cut-off time to make your transfers. Will Saka be over 100% effective ownership? I don't think so. Maybe. Outrageous Fez, 10 months. Njai and Semenyo to Minte and Burma for -4. Probably not, no. Would you transfer in Bruno for either Semenyo or Enzo? Or Roll? I mean, I prefer Bruno to both of them. He's a good long-term hold, so yeah, probably. Enzo probably more than Semenyo. Although, obviously, Enzo could start, or probably will start. Semenyo might not. Reinders to Saka for -4, is that ship sailed? No, I think Saka's still a good pick. Yeah. I think I honestly... No. Okay, so you're not... I'm gonna make the second transfer. I just don't know which way round I want to do it. I don't know which way around I want to do it. Where are people seeing Caicedo benched? How are they going to score goals without Caicedo? Cunha's also a huge differential, but so's Minte, by the way. No, I'm not doing a poll. I already know what the answer will be. I don't want that answer. Am I sure I don't want to captain Haaland? I mean, there's a little bit of me that wants to captain Haaland. Play Semenyo or start Van Heck? Play Semenyo. Is Captain Mateta risky? I wouldn't say risky, no. Why is Mateta not in your top 3 for captaincy? Because I think there's 3 better players for captaincy. Let's build a fast free hit 13 team. Nope, probably not going to do that. Yeah, I think Paquetá to Minte is a sensible move, but I kind of don't want to do it. I need to see my team for game week 14. Hang on. What's the worst case scenario if I buy Cunha? Well, the worst case scenario is Semenyo scores a hat trick, which will make me feel sick. But okay, so let's Yeah, so let's say I get to game week 14. Yeah, let's say I get to game week 14 and someone's injured, which means I can't do Paquetá to Minte. I would have to play Dewsbury Hall against Bournemouth away or Anderson against City at home. No, I'm not rolling. I'm not going to roll. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not rolling. I'm not going to roll. Like again, I'm not going to go for it all again. I would roll if this was normal circumstances, but it's not normal circumstances. Paquetá Minte is the safe play, but Cunha plays on Monday night. Cunha play. Honestly, that is drawing me in a little bit. Imagine Monday night football with Cunha and Fernandes and a green arrow. How good would that be? I mean, I could be on a massive red arrow and have Cunha. Yeah, so you say stick to your gut. I'm not sure what my gut feeling is. Start Rice or Njai. I'm not actually sure what my gut feeling is, if I'm honest. Like, okay, here's what I would say. I think, oh God, I need to get the transfer street. I need to get this. I'm going to make a move. I just need to decide which one. I think, I don't have a gut feeling, but I do know that the Minte play is kind of how I've played all season. Safe. Like, what if Cunha's just rubbish? Am I going to be happy with him long term? Home to Brentford better than home to Everton. Yeah, maybe. There's not 1 minute left. There's 1 minute and 9 seconds. I'm avoiding going double Man United, so I'm not overly disappointed. Yeah, fair enough. You're a Man United fan. I get it. Minte is the safe play. Oh my God. Minte is the safe play. Minte is the safe play. I'm going to C7. If Semenyo starts, I'm never going to live this down. I'm never going to live this down. Pedro Neto. No, come on now. Let's be serious for a second. 5-3-2. Oh my God. If I get to the game week 14 deadline now and I can't do Paquetá to Minte, that's going to kill me. Okay, we're locked in. I feel horrible. Honestly, I would usually just roll. That was a rollable team. That was a rollable team. I should have just got. I probably should have just got Minte. Probably should have just got Minte. Yeah, because if I get to game week 14 with Minte, I don't know. It does make sense because you would have benched Minte. Yeah, but it was just cover. The thing is, Minte's going to come in for me 100% in game week 14. If I've got the money, he's going to come in. Why did they have to introduce 5 transfers for AFCON? I tell you what, I will not. Oh my God, I'm not looking forward to the 3 p.m. games at all. Minte's not going to AFCON, but neither is Semenyo. Neither of them are. Oh God, Semenyo celebratory engagement brace incoming. Oh my God. Should have started Paquetá. Oh, no, I can't bother to get into that. The problem is, I used to do that when I first started playing. I would always play the player that was like suspended. But now I stream and stuff, I get so many questions about why I've done it. It's just easier to bench them, to be honest. Is Semenyo bench? I've got no idea. No Semenyo or Minte. But I can get Minte in game week 14. Hopefully. As long as there's no other issues. Everton winning 2-0. Oh, God, I hope not. We have 5 free transfers to right our wrongs. That's the only reason I even considered it. I said that straight away. As soon as that news came out about Semenyo yesterday, I said about getting Cunha. You make the safe plays all season, and the one time the safe plays seemed like the better option, you didn't do it. Yeah, I know. But it's because it's going to eventually happen anyway. And I don't mind having Cunha over Semenyo in game week 14, because Cunha's got West Ham at home. If I miss a super chat, I apologise. I think I got most of them. Would you transfer in Bruno? No, I think I did that. Semenyo does have West Ham this week, but obviously he's a doubt, right? Oh, Semenyo's seen with a scarf. Sorry, language. Hopefully that was quiet enough that YouTube didn't pick it up. I've got 3 players Monday night. No, only 2. Who's Dewsbury Hall going to come on for? I've got double Everton, you've got double United, and shock, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I can never back United. But you can back Everton? Surely not. We'll see. God, don't say Cunha bench. Can you imagine? FPL is supposed to be fun. Stop stressing. FPL's not fun. What kind of game are you playing? FPL's not fun at all. Enzo captain punt. No, probably not. But if you've done it. Cunha bench for Mount. But who's going to play up front? Relax. Cunha 3-pointer. Anyway, I'm free hit 13. That's locked in now. It was already locked in. Right, I'm off. Try and enjoy your weekends. Oh, God, don't. Imagine if it's Xerxes up front with Mount and in Burmo. That would just be horrible. We'll see. Right. Thanks for watching. Give it a like, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. And unfortunately, I'll see you tomorrow. After the Arsenal Spurs game, before the Man United game. Hopefully, I'm on a green arrow with 2 players left. That would be amazing. We'll see. Right, I'm off. Thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you tomorrow, unfortunately.